Lucas and Nicholas and Annie. This is Mrs. Muller. I'm just going to make a video for you. Sorry it's not the best lighting. My dry erase board here at home is kind of stuck in the corner. So I was just going to go over your math review page with you. And so we'll do some together. And let's start on the first page. So I have a picture of it on my phone where, and actually the page number is cut off, so I'm not sure what page that is. So but it's the chapter 14 review. So tell you what, let's skip down to number 7. We're gonna skip the mental math part first. We'll do this, and then you'll be able to do the mental math, I think, a lot easier, okay? So remember that when you're dividing, if both numbers, if your divisor and your dividend both end in a 0, you can just go ahead and just imagine that both of them don't have that 0. Okay, it just mentally makes the number look smaller even though it's still the same amount. It just bumps your number to the next place value, but it will still be the same number. You just have to make sure you put your number up in the divisor in the right place. So for number 7, we have 100 divided by 20. Okay, now, always ask yourself the first questions about where you're going to put your quotient. So, common sense, can 20 be divided into 1? Can you divide 1 into 20 parts? Not really, no, not unless you're going to get into higher level math, okay? So 1 cannot be divided into 20. So can 10 be divided into 20 groups? No. So we're going to be dividing 100 by 20. So put that little X right there to remind you to put your quotient above the second 0. Okay, now we can go ahead and just mentally take that last 0 away. Okay, these two zeros away. Okay, so really we can, in our mind, be thinking, what is 10 divided by 2? And that's 5. Okay, but remember, we're still putting the 5 above the X, where we put that. Now, 5 times 20 is 100. And then you get 0 remainder. So that's number 7. Okay, same thing here. 280 divided by 70. Can 70 go into 2? No. Can 70 go into 28? No. Can 70 go into 280? Yes. So put your little X right. Now, we don't know our 70 times tables, but we do know our 7 times tables. So we can go ahead and imagine that this 0 is gone and this 0 is gone. So now we have 28 divided by 7, which is 4. Okay, 4 times 70 is 280, which is 4. Okay, 0 remainder. All right, same thing here. Okay, 10 can't go into 3, but 10 can go into 30, right? So our quotient is going to be above this first 0. It's not always going to be in the same place. You just have to ask yourself for each question, can my divisor go into the hundreds place? Can my divisor go into the tens place? Can my divisor go into the ones place? So 10 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 10 is 30. Subtract and we get 0. Now we're not done yet because we still technically have another 0 to bring down. Now 10, how many groups of 10 can you make from 0? You can't make any groups of 10 from 0, so the answer is 0. And then 0 times 10 is 0, and we have no remainder. Okay, now 180 divided by 30. 30 can't go into 1, 30 can't go into 18, but 30 can go into 180. So put an X above your 0. How many, now just mentally be thinking, okay, take your zeros away. How many 3s are in 18? The answer is 6, but remember, need to put our 6 here because we really technically are dividing 180 divided by 30. Okay, 6 times 30 is 180. So that is 0. All right, so numbers 11 through 14 are very similar to this. So I'll send the answer key so you can check your answers. Now, jump back up to number 1 and use mental math. So what is 270 divided by 30? Now take the zeros off. So what's 27 divided by 3? The answer is 9. So write 9. What is 300 divided by 60? The answer is 5. Hopefully you're getting these before I tell you the answer. Number 3. 450 divided by 5 equals 9. 240 divided by 80 equals 3. 160 divided by 20 equals 8. And last one, 490 divided by 70 equals 7. Good. All right, the word problems. Okay, so let's look at the first one. It says, Carly and Bryce helped Pastor Cooper distribute invitations to the special services. They gave out 720 invitations. How many did they each give out? So each tells us to divide. Now, how many people were there? Okay, there was Carly, there was Bryce, and there was the pastor. So 3 people. So we're going to take the number of invitations and divide it by 3. Okay, so our equation is 720 divided by 3, and you can use mental math to solve that. Well, you probably could, okay? But we could set it up like this. Okay. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract 1. Bring down your 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. And then we're just going to have a bunch of zeros. Okay, 3 goes into 0. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract, we get 0. So 240 invitations. Okay? And number 16. Pastor Cooper organized 680 chairs into 20 rows. How many chairs were in each row? Okay. So we are also going to be, we see the word each in that, so we're going to be dividing. So we have 680 chairs all together, and then but 20 rows. So how we're going to divide 680 divided by 20. Okay, now this is where your, well, again, your mental math could come in, but you could say 2 divided into 68, which you could do in your head. Do you know what it is? What's 68 divided by 2? So how many 2's are in 6 and how many 2's are in 8? So the answer is 34, and that would be chairs. And then the last one. So actually over in the workspace, they have you actually do the math. Okay. The ladies made 945 brownies. Kurt and Aubrey placed 36 brownies on each platter. How many platters were filled? Okay, so we are going to be dividing, right? 945 divided by 36. So we need to come over here and do in our workspace. All right, now this is where your rounding will help you to divide. Sorry, there's a glare right there, isn't there? So 36, because, okay, it's a lot harder to think 36 goes into 94, I don't know, but you know what, 36 is close to 40, so let me think of it as a 40. That's why it's in a cloud. It's like one of those thinking bubbles. Okay, you're just thinking it. You're not really using the number. You're just thinking it. So instead of being 36, 40 is pretty close. So let's use 40 because that's easier. So 40 goes into 94 2 times. Okay, now we don't use our rounded number when we do the actual multiplying. So 2 times 36 is 72. Okay, so we get 222 and bring down your 5. Okay, now again, let's use the 40 to help us divide. Okay, so you could say how many 4s are in 22. Okay, now again, it's just a guess. It's a good guess. You want to pick the best guess that you can for dividing. Now, that's just a starting place. Once you subtract and compare and bring down, then you'll find out whether or not your guess was right. If your best guess was a little bit too low or too high, then you have to adjust the quotient. That's just how it is. Okay, unless you know your 36 times tables, then you'll just have to make a good guess. And rounding the number helps you to come up with a good guess. Okay, so 40 into 225. So 4 into 22 goes 5 times, right? Okay, so 36 times 5 is 180. Okay, now I have a feeling we're going to have to adjust the quotient. Okay, 5 minus 0 is 5. We need to borrow. Okay, so 45 is bigger than 36. So yes, we need to adjust the 5, and it really should be a 6. Okay, now we took a good guess with 5, but it wasn't quite the right number. So erase this. You can erase all the numbers you used for carrying or for borrowing. Okay, now we're going to do 36 times 6. So 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 3 is 21. So 216. Now I think we're getting closer, okay? So we still need to borrow. 15 minus 6 is 9. So 26 remainder 9. So the answer is, because it said how many platters were filled. So 26 platters were filled. Okay, not quite 27. You had a remainder, but only 26. So how many were left over? And that's the remainder. That's 9. So you write 9 brownies were left over. Okay? All right, now on the back, and I think I'm just trying to make sure I got the right page numbers. Okay. Okay, so I think if I'm on the right page, I hope I am. We have just lots of division, okay? Just different division. Now some are easier than others, some you might have to adjust. Some you might be able to do in your head. Okay, so I tell you what, instead of me doing every single problem with you, I'm going to try to pick a variety of problems. All right, so let's do number 18. It's hard to read this. Okay, so we've got 71 divided by 30. Okay. Will 30 go into 7? No. Will 30 go into 71? Yes. How many times? Okay, you could count by 30s, which you probably could do, or you could say how many 3s are in 7, and that's 2. So 2 times 30 is 60. And you subtract and get 11, so you have remainder 11. Okay, and then numbers 19 and 20 are similar to that. All right, so number 20, let's do number 21. Okay, let's do, it's 29, and we're going to divide that into 97. Okay, 29 is only one away from 30, so we're going to think of it as being 30. Okay, that'll help us guess our quotient. All right, so how many 30s are in 97? 30, 60, 90. So there's 3. Okay, now we need to use the actual 29 to multiply. So 23 times 9 is 87. Subtract and we get 10. Is 10 smaller than 29? Yes. So remainder 10. All right, now let's jump down to number 24. Okay, do you have this written on your paper? Hopefully I'm not going too fast. You can always pause the video if you need to. Okay, number 24. 25. Divide that into 527. Okay? So now you can count by 25s. See, every problem's different. I mean, you might be able to use the divisor, you might not. You might need to round it, you might not. It just depends. Every problem's a little bit different. There's no, I can't say there's this way to do this problem. Okay, you have to just, you just have to, each one's different, okay? So you just gotta use your brain, common sense for each one. All right, now I'm just gonna use, you could round 25 up to 30. You could, but you can count by 25s because you count with quarters, right? 25, 50, 75, 100. So let's just do that. 25 divided into 52, divided into 52 would go 2 times. 2 times 25 is 50. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down your 7. 25 goes into 27 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Okay, if you can divide without rounding, that's fine. You don't have to round. It's just there to help you if you want to. Okay, so let's do 25. Okay, so we've got 21, and we're going to divide that into 483. Okay, so 21 would round down to 20. It's close to 20. So we're going to divide into 48, right? Because we can't divide into 4. 20 into 48 goes 20, 40, 60 is too many, so 2. Okay, and then 2 times 21, that's 42. Subtract, you get 6. Bring down your 3. Okay, 20 goes into 63, 20, 40, 60, 3 times. And then 3 times 21 is 63. And you get 0, okay? All right, let's do, tell you what, let's jump down to, let's do number 28. Okay, you're going to have to check your division. Okay, so for number 28, we've got 92 divided into 387. All right, now let's go ahead and round down to 90. Okay, so it's easier when you have a multiple of a number that's a multiple of 10 to divide. So 90 will not go into 3 or 38, so we need to divide into the whole number, 387. All right, now, even though this isn't a 0, I'm just going to think of it as being 38 divided by 9. I'm going to just pretend those last 2 digits aren't even there. So, I know that 9 goes into 38 4 times. So you still put your 4 above the x. All right, now I'm just going to try it. 92 times 4. Okay, 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 9 is 36. So 368. We have to borrow. 17 minus 8 is 9. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, 19 is smaller than 92. So that means we have a remainder of 19. All right, now how are we going to check? Okay, in order to check, you have to do the opposite function, the opposite operation. So we're going to multiply our number times our divisor, and then we'll add our remainder, and it should be 387. So 92 times 4, you know what, we already did it over here. I'll just add the remainder to it. Okay, so 92 times 4 is 368 plus 19. So 8 plus 9 is 17. 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 8. 387. They are the same. Okay, and I will send you a picture of the answers so you can check your other questions that you do.